what differentiate you from the other competitors?
Service, marketing, price.
What are 3 words that we would use to describe George?
3 words, confident, personality, and passionate.
One song that describe your brand.
I don't want to say we are the champion. Again, that is going to be arrogant, and I don't want to send the wrong message.
You're now running your own title company. So where did that transition happen?
Plays a big role in here. And along the way, I learn not to expect, but hope for the best and expect the worst. I like to learn from them to shape my future. Because, a smart man learns from his mistake. And again, this is my quote. But a wise person will learn from the errors of others.
So you won't compromise integrity in your business, and you won't compromise family time.
Family is important. Family is paramount. Family, that is my legacy. I want the best for my kids.
Hello, welcome to BizConnect, where we dive into the journeys of business owners exploring their beginnings, challenges, triumphs, and their exciting path ahead. I'm your host, Annalyn Carter, and today I am thrilled to have my guest here, Christopher Reynolds, also known as George. George, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored, first and foremost. This is a privilege for me to be here. I have a little bit of mixed feelings, so let me put that out there first. I'm excited and I'm nervous.
No need. We're friends here.
That is true.
And we're family too. Beyond friends, we're family.
That is what brings the comfort. That is truly what brings the comfort. But for the exciting part is this could be my entry on the big scale. Paramount, cinema, Disney.
I love it.
Or the nervous part is this is my first sit down.
All right, I'm going to make it as very easy and tranquil as possible for you.
Thank you so very much. Okay. But FYI, all rights reserved. So if you guys see me in Paramount future, I won't forget you. You gave me the break. All right.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and formally introduce yourself to my audience and tell them about what you do?
Thank you guys for having me. My name is Christopher Reynolds. I own and operate Phoenix Land Title and Escrow. This is a title company that basically deals with transfer of real estate title, transfer of ownership, real estate 100%, where we start the contract from beginning to end, do all the searches on the property to make sure when it's conveyed from seller to buyer, it is free and clear of all defects without any issue. After which, we issue what you call title insurance to the buyer, some form of comfort to let them know if we erred doing our due diligence, doing our job, they are covered at our cost, not theirs. And also let me, reiterate, title insurance is a one-time purchase. This is not something you purchase annually to renew. At closing, it is collected, and that's it.
So you own and operate a title company. Before we go into the business, right, I want you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself, as in where you're from, and a little bit about your your upbringing.
All right. My upbringing and my origin. Well, originally I'm from Jamaica before migrating to the U.S. Where should I start?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. You say, all right.
Mom and dad.
Mom and dad. I was born to my mother and my father, Uten and Oliver Reynolds. They are from opposite side of the island, actually. My mom is from St. Catherine, which is the central Jamaica. My father is from Westmoreland, which is on the west end of Jamaica. How did they meet? Only they could sit down here and tell you that. I'm just going to assume that, Kingston was the central heartbeat of Jamaica. And most people back then would migrate to Kingston in pursuit of better income, better lifestyle, better job. And I guess along their journey, they crossed paths.
Okay.
And sparks flew, and Georgie's here. Now, I migrated to the U.S. now you're taking me back in a time machine now. I migrated to the U.S. in 2000 even, and my migration was solely for family reason.
Okay.
My wife was here. Our family started, and I never wanted to be an absentee father. So after praying on it and traveling to and from, and it was scary because my entire life, all that I knew, everything that I know, my friends, my family, they're all in Jamaica. Now I am transiting to another country where all I would be, my support would be my wife,
Okay.
my best friend. Don't get me wrong, but it's easier said than done. It's nerve-wracking, but I prayed, and I'm confident that my Father above is not going to lead me where He's not going to guide me.
Okay. All right.
So I took the leap and came here and started my family.
So when you came to the US, you migrated here. What type of like role in terms of business were you involved in? Did you start your business then? Like what did you do to get to owning your own title company?
No, my journey. So sorry.
That's okay.
Sometimes I'm a little bit headstrong.
No, that's good.
My journey, I can only surmise it as divine intervention. I am not trying to be condescending here, but that is it. Because when I was in Jamaica, I did nothing related to real estate. Zero affiliation with real estate. I was a sales representative of Grace Kennedy.
Okay.
My entire knowledge, my entire experience was marketing and sales, where we sold products for Grace Kennedy. Anybody who's from Jamaica must have heard the name Grace, and they do food and household products. When I migrated to the US, I came here with an open mind. Yes, I have hopes, I have aspirations. Yes, I would love to start my own business. I have inclination. Now, would that materialize? I am unsure. But I came here with a lot of optimism.
Okay.
Now, when I got here, the hardest part for me personally was the paperwork. I migrated to the US in November of 2008. Then me and my wife, we sat down, we prepared the paperwork, we got an attorney, and we submitted our immigration documents. My immigration document actually, because she was already got through with hers. And you know, then it took a process. It wasn't as long as now what I'm hearing, but it's between back then. Don't hold me to it, but I'm going off memory. 6 to 7 months.
Okay.
So that 6 to 7 months sitting home, not doing anything, that was my personal biggest challenge. And then, painfully, while driving on the turnpike or the 95, and back then you had Air Jamaica, which was very pronounced. You could not miss an Air Jamaica plane landing at Fort Lauderdale Airport. And every time I remember driving past the airport and seeing Air Jamaica and knowing that I'm 1.5 hours away from home. But guess what? Coming to the US, failure was not optional.
Right.
So
for most people that migrate here, failure is not an option.
Because we all came here with the pursuit of better.
Yes.
And yes, you're going to have emotional setbacks,
right?
Emotional challenges. But, you know, I usually attend the Dunoon Technical before transferring to Wolmer's Boys School. And Dunoon Technical...
And those are two schools from Jamaica,
yes.
By the way. Okay.
Dunoon Technical motto was persistence through excellence, knowledge through persistence through excellence.
Mm-hmm.
And failure to prepare is preparing to fail.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things that keeps me motivated.
Okay.
Keeps me fuel, keeps me going.
Okay.
Now it might come across to some as cliche, but these simple little things is big motivation for me.
Yeah.
Plus my faith in the Father is a lot. I am not gullible, I'm not easily distracted. I might sit and I will listen to someone, but it doesn't mean that their beliefs is going to be impacted on me.
Right.
And I'm not judging a person for their belief. I respect their choice. We're all given choices in life. But I like to learn from others.
Okay.
To shape my future. Because, you know, a wise man, a smart man actually learns from his mistake. And again, this is my quote. So you will not Google it and find it. But a wise person will learn from the errors of others.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Right?
So these are little things that fuels me along the way.
Okay. So let's talk about, right? Because when we mentioned at the top of the episode that you ran and own a title company. So after migrating here, having the early struggles, when did you start the company and how did you get involved?
All right, no, I don't think your show has enough time for that, but I'm going to try
But
to
kind
capitalize.
of
All right.
right. Give us short synopsis.
Now, during the 6 months while I was here, I find extracurricular activity to do. Now, the biggest one was going to gym. I started to go to the gym, try to work out. I jog around the development where I live. But sometimes my wife will say, you talk too much, which it's good and bad. But I wasn't one who was afraid to say, I am looking for a job. The shy part was never something that was in me. I will just say what is on my mind. Sometimes it come across abrasive, which is unintentional if you get to know me. But I believe in closed mouth don't get fed.
I agree.
So while going to the gym, I will meet people along the way, and I will say to them, guys, I'm here. I'm just waiting for my paperwork to come through. If you know anything, let me know. All right? Then I started working with this guy, Steve. He was a technician that goes around and he fixes appliances and ceiling fan. And I remember I went out with him one day. Now, I'm not sounding arrogant here, but the very first time I went with him, and I went into the house, and there was this lady wanting to change a ceiling fan. And Steve gave me the ladder and asked me to change it. So I think he was under the impression that I would be asking him advice as to what to do. Him not knowing that while attending Dunoon Technical, learning electrical, learning mechanical was mandatory. So I can do that with my eyes closed. So he was impressed to know that I removed it and put it back up, 1, 2, 3, just like that. So then and there he said, George, you're hired. Plus, I think he was impressed with the way I carried myself initially, because most of the guys who worked with him usually just get up out of bed and go straight to work, and he was a little bit offended by that. Because working for him is representing his company, which I can understand. You're an extension of his company.
Absolutely.
So while doing that, going out with Steve, I'm still going to gym in the evening, and I'm like talking to people, I'm looking for a job. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I came across Sandra. I'm going to keep the last name because I have no permit to use their name on here. But Sandra's sister usually works for Grace Kennedy before she migrated to the US. Now, she's the marketing rep for a title company, County Line Title.
Okay.
And it just so happened at the time, Grace Kennedy was calling her back to work for them in Jamaica.
And they needed a rep for...
Where she got a big promotion. She sat down with the boss at the time, the owner of the company, and he understood that there's no way he could match what Grace was offering her. So, same time, Sandra said to me, reach out to Hazel. I got to Hazel information. I reached out to Hazel. Hazel said, George, please write your resume. I went to Office Depot. Okay. Was it Office Depot? Probably. And I sat down and I used your computer, type up my resume. When I finished it, it was like on 3 pages. Then I brought it to Hazel, and Hazel gave it back to me and said, George,
you need to condense it.
Put everything on 1 page and come back. So I went back, I delete, I condense, I delete, I condense, and then she reached out to Christopher Patterson at the time. He's the owner of Phoenix, and he was the owner of County Line Title. And we introduced ourselves. He looked at my resume. Again, probably it's my personality, probably it's my resume, but he looked at me and said the mere fact that Hazel recommended me was good enough for him.
Okay, so
I got the job working at County Line Title. That was my very first experience, my first exposure to real estate.
So you're working for them as a sales rep, or you're going to be
sales rep.
Okay,
as a marketing rep.
A marketing rep. Okay,
rather.
Which means you're going to go out and you're going to sell the title
company to mortgage broker and real estate agents.
Okay.
So from there, and mind you, I was told by everyone that you have a big shoe to fill because Hazel, excellent at whatever she does. She was an excellent marketing rep for County Line. So the expectation the shadow that she cast, the footprints that she leave, I know
very
it was it was not a simple challenge. But then again, I am ready for any challenge that comes my way. My biggest fear at the time, because traveling to the US back then, I usually travel. I will fly out on a Friday, and return on a Monday with my friends. So to travel the US and know the interior of the city I was not that knowledgeable of.
Okay.
Because normally you fly up to the US, you go to Sawgrass. Then you're back to your hotel room and you're gone. So knowing the ins and outs, that was my biggest challenge.
Okay.
And then knowing title was something else new to me. And then at the time, trying to get directions from people, and bearing in mind, if anyone knows anything about Jamaica, when you ask for direction, left, right, that is what you're used to. Now you're being told east, west, north, south, which you are totally oblivious to. But guess what? When you're in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Right. And that back then they didn't have any GPS.
GPS. So I had to learn east, west, north, south. Where is the ocean? Where is the...
Or wait, were you probably back then too? I remember before GPS, we used to print out like a sheet.
Oh, without a doubt.
We used to print a sheet out to get direction how to where.
I usually write it down.
Or how to get to somewhere.
I usually write it down. So when I started working at County Line Title,
okay,
I would go out. I would introduce myself to the real estate offices. I would introduce myself to the mortgage brokers, and basically sell the product, sell our office. The good thing about it is Phoenix. I keep saying Phoenix.
It was
bad.
like County Line Title
was not unknown. So because Isla, as I said, did an excellent job marketing the company. I was just now taking the baton to another level.
Okay.
And then going into these offices, getting these people to know me, familiarizing myself with them. That was the challenge. But I guess in time, with effort, with determination, we all get to know each other. That is where I gained most of my popularity in the real estate industry.
Right. And you've been very talkative, and
well, I don't know if that's a compliment or what.
I mean, I'm just going back to what you said. Your wife said you talk too much sometimes, so I guess that kind of did help you, right?
But yes, it did help.
Yeah, it helped.
But
not being
I can
shy.
tell you something about me though. I am not one to back away. I am not one to be easily offended, because I believe each and every one of us are entitled to our opinion. Okay. Now, if your opinion of me is not to your liking,
right,
I respect it, because that's your opinion. And I'm not going to diminish your opinion. I am going to look at myself in a full-length mirror and see if it's deserving.
Right.
But I have learned that along the way, you will never please everyone, each and every one. But I learned to take both constructive and negative opinion.
All right. So you're now criticism. You're now the marketing rep for the title company, County Line Title, right? At what point then did you end up having the business? Now because you're now running your own title company. So where did that transition happen?
All right. Now the transition took place when back in 2008, I started working in County Line in 2001, give or take. And we had a very good run up until 2008 when the real estate market collapsed. And, our boss gave us the sad news that he's considering closing the office.
Okay.
And here is an office that employs at least, again, 15, 20 people, give or take. Now, I am at the point where I am deciding what is going to be my next move. And I often tell people that as a single man, it's easy to get up and do stuff, to pursue dreams, to make changes in a heartbeat. But when you have a family to consider, the whole dynamics change. Because now I have a wife, I have 2 kids, I have a home, car, I have bills, I have responsibility. Now, yes, I can go and write my resume all over again and seek employment, or I can take the knowledge that I just learned, the gained knowledge, and go and do it on my own. Now, at the time, working for County Line Title, I know I wasn't fully equipped to do it all on my own.
Okay.
So I sat down with Jennifer. She also worked at County Line Title.
Okay.
So I was the marketing rep, Jennifer was the main processor. And before that, Jennifer and I had a very good relationship. We were family. Don't explain why, we just end up clicking. We got along well. And I trusted her completely. And I'm going to say it was reciprocated. So we sat down and we decided to venture out on our own. Bearing in mind, we're venturing out on our own in an economy that just collapsed. So we're taking the decision to open our own business during a down economy. So the option was pursue employment in a down economy or pursue your own business in a down economy. We spoke, we prayed. I mean, there's nothing that is going to be fruitful without prayers. And we decide to go for it.
All right. So,
and hence came about Phoenix Land Title. Mind you, the name never just came to us, we came up with other options. We had other names. Don't ask me now, I can't remember, but I guess we were so loyal to County Line Title. And the etymology of Phoenix is the rebirth. So still showing our loyalty to County Line, we go with Phoenix as the rebirth.
I like that.
From the ashes.
I like that. Okay, so now you have the title company and the rebirth Phoenix, right? Did you get any pushback or say challenges from some of the past clients that the other title company had? Like, did their clients kind of give you like a how do I say? They weren't really sure. You know what I mean? Should they go to another title company? Do they continue working with you guys? Like, was there any setbacks?
My setbacks, and I would say, I would use a different choice of words.
Okay.
My disappointments, I would rather say, was from some of my closest friends at the time, because here it is, I'm going out on my own. I'm venturing out on my own. And you would expect, and that is a very big word used loosely, expect. And hopefully, while we continue our conversation, I'll get to explain why. But at the time, I had this expectation that my friends would be there for me. And learning that at the time, most of my friends wanted a piece of me rather than helping me. So basically, for me going out, they wanted expectation. And that was somewhat of an eye-opener for me.
You want to talk a little bit about what that means for you? What you say when they wanted expectation from you and probably not even wanted to give you their business, in terms of like they probably have business that they can give you, but they expected you to probably do the work for them, but maybe for free?
Expectation, some wanted vested interest in my company.
Okay.
Which threw me off guard. 100%. Deflated me at one point. Now, in the marketing industry, you have to learn to decline without saying no, because sometimes the no is too final, and sometimes can come across too abrupt, offensive. So oftentimes, I'll leave the conversation and say, let me think about it. Let me think about it. And the reason why I would leave the conversation saying, let me think about it, let me give it thought, is my prior employer, I was going to use the word boss, but I held back because Christopher always say, I'm your employer. Because, you're from Jamaica, you keep saying boss. I remember that clearly. So Chris always say, George, I'm your employer. Quit saying boss. So my former employer, Chris, one thing I respect and I learned so much from him is Chris never once made a rational decision. Chris always go back to his office, sit and give it thought before he reacts.
That's good.
And I mean that. I've noticed that about Chris. And he has learned to separate his emotions from the business. And that also impacted me while moving forward. Because everything that I know about real estate, I learned from County Line. County Line was my university. That was the Harvard of title for me. And I will be forever grateful.
This episode is brought to you by Carter & Carter Business Solution, where you can get all your business and consulting needs. So we're going to dive in, right, in this segment about your journey, right, as the owner of Phoenix Land Title and Escrow, right? So let's talk about the title company. There's a lot of title companies around. What differentiate you from the other competitors?
No, that is an excellent question. Now, title company, in essence, we all do the same thing. We get the contract, we do the research, and we provide the necessary paperwork for the transfer of ownership. Service, marketing, price. Now, I will not sit here and bash another title company, ever. But you look at the market, you're competing with title companies that are attorney-owned. You're competing with title companies that are associated with real estate offices. So, and the mortgage brokers' offices. So they have it all in-house. They are not shopping for the business is coming to them. I am shopping for the business. So what differentiate Phoenix mostly is the service and the hours. I'm going to say most title companies close at 5.
Okay.
Not that I want to be in my office at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but if I have a package, I am not going to say, I'm sorry, we can't close because office hours. I am staying back and close at 5. And if another one comes through the email, I'm staying back and close at 5. So that is something that Jennifer and I has been doing, and it has been working for us because oftentimes the client is unable to come during work hours. They have to come after work. So it's even more convenient for them. So that is a part of the marketing strategy that has fueled us through these challenging times.
All right, so giving your client the convenience of coming to you, or you guys open it after, say, work or business hours, it's a plus, right?
It's a plus, yes.
It's a plus, right? So another question I want to ask you, right? Being an entrepreneur, right? What are some of the I would say challenges that you have, right, as an entrepreneur owning your own business?
Well, my challenges faced initially was bearing in mind, if we reflect a little, coming to the US was my first venture. This is the very first company I'm establishing. So to find out the ins and outs and what to do and what not to do, getting advices from people, from friends who you would think would be willing to share, oftentimes come across as a burden to them. And that is a part of what I was saying. I was disappointed in sometimes people's reaction because I have a tendency to measure a situation of how I would do it. And I would go above and beyond, regardless for even a dead stranger. That's just me. So sometimes I would expect the same. So that is the word I'm going to come back to later on. Expect.
The expectation.
I have grown to change that. So learning the ins and outs of how to register a business, to set up the infrastructure, and mind you, we're doing this on limited resources.
Right.
Was that in itself was the biggest challenge for us. Getting the necessities, rather the office furniture, the printer, the software, get the license, get the underwriter. Those are the biggest challenges for us. But the experience in itself, I'm telling you, it's priceless what we learn at County Line.
Okay. So I'm going to go back. So you say having that expectation from people that you thought would probably help you, right? Especially your friends, and because you're building this business and this is a new space for you. And then probably you have friends who own business or who's been in business for a while. You thought that they would probably, give you some guidance to what you need to do.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
And that wasn't there for you.
No.
Right? So how did you overcome that challenge?
Well, the good thing about this, is you're in the US. And I mean, let me not say that to mean you don't have the same accessibility anywhere in the world. So let me stand corrected. But the internet is what I had to resort to. And when I say most, not all. So you do have those who offered me help.
Okay.
And at the time, I also needed some financial help because setting up all this infrastructure was not the easiest feat.
Or you need funds.
You need funds. And the friends that was there, the family, when in need is when everyone goes to you.
Right. And I think for a lot of people or a lot of entrepreneurs, like when they're starting up their business, that's one of the challenges I hear that they face. Like they don't have someone, right, that can go to say, okay, these are the steps that you need to take.
Correct.
Right. These are the tools that you need. This is a lender that you need to go to. You don't, it's hard to find somebody to say, hey, do this step 1, 2, 3, right? Or I have a lender that lends me XYZ. This is this lender. He's great. Call him. You don't find that camaraderie, especially when you're starting a business.
That wasn't there for us.
Yeah, you feel lost.
And then when we were establishing Phoenix Title, we weren't just planning on establishing Phoenix Title and expecting business to just flow to us out of loyalty from County Line. We introduced ourselves to offices, and these were people that we were working with prior to at our old employ. And, we reached out to them and, we were going to be doing Phoenix Title, and you would be surprised how many doors closed in our face. But these were the same people that we were working with while at County Line Title.
Right.
But now, we're going elsewhere, we're doing this, we're doing that. But I don't want to sound cliche because everybody's going to say, don't be discouraged by other people. But I firmly believe if you have a passion in your heart and it's a little bit more than passion. So sorry. But if you do your marketing, the area that you're going to try and farm. Yes, there will always be obstacles. But sometimes these obstacles is there to strengthen you. Because he never promised us an easy path. So you just have to know what you're about, and not be discouraged by others. Right. Because not each and every one will have your vision. So oftentimes I will say, even now when I talk to my son, if you have a plan, it's good to seek advice. But you sharing your plans, your ideas with everyone who is not sharing your vision, you're soliciting public opinion where it should be inconsequential.
So my follow-up question to that then, when did you realize, right, that this path that you're on was starting to be successful? Like you're like, oh, I made the right decision. When did that?
Whoa, no, that is a good question. Well, I'm going to say, honestly, that's the most brutal, honest answer I can give you, is we started in 2008, May 28, 2008. And when we survived the first 5 years, because again, We started in the real estate depression, the collapse of the real estate market. It was quote unquote depression. Some would rather say it's not, but it was an economical collapse, not just real estate.
It affected everyone.
It affected everyone. So when we survived 28, 29, 10, 11, 12, and we're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel, and we can pay our bills, and we can stop borrowing money to pay our bills, then I would say that, we have been blessed.
Okay, so you saw that, you were like, okay, wow, this is actually a business.
This is actually working.
This is working. This is a business.
And then, because all the expansion and the growth started was, when we started, we had one office space. And that one office space, we created a conference room at the back. It was like, what did you call this? 900 square foot or less, 400 square foot. We were like 400 square foot, and I built an office for the closing at the back. And then next to me was another real estate office, but he closed his door. So I would say when I realized the growth took place is when I reached out to my landlord for the space next door.
And you expanded. To
expand, to create, a better atmosphere. So I would say that is when we look back and say, thank you, God.
What is so now that you're a place, you guys are growing, right? I want to dive into a little bit into the future. What's your plan for your business in the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
No, that is interesting. Now, real estate is fluid. It is an ever-changing market. Change is inevitable. Bearing in mind with that question, 5 to 10 years from today, I am also 5-10 years older with 5-10 years less energy. I'm being practical. Yes, I would love to know that Phoenix title is still around. And I would love to know that Phoenix title has grown. And it's something that we can pass on. The future is uncertain, especially with what we're going through. But my future plan right now, my expansion is to align myself with an office or a bank where we can gain certain stability.
What would be one thing that you wouldn't compromise, right? And for Phoenix Title, what's one thing that you wouldn't compromise as doing business for Phoenix Title?
One thing that I would not compromise. What is the word I'm searching for? Integrity.
Okay.
I would not. Because in this industry, you will be given lots of promises of what they can do for you if you should make this deal materialize. And if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. And it's more than, yes, we're all in business to make money. It would be foolish to say otherwise. But there's guidelines. And if it is going to cost me my reputation, if it's going to cost me my license, and remember, costing me my license and my reputation is costing me my family. So if it is something that is going to jeopardize my livelihood, it's not happening. As long as it is legal and it is right, yes.
So having integrity in this business, especially as a business owner, is very important to you.
It is very important. You would be surprised the offers that comes to you daily. This is 2025 where even banks are locking down on cash deposits without certain ID being presented.
Right.
And you will have buyers offering you XYZ to close this transaction. And it might be inviting. Don't get me wrong. You're going to be tempted. But long term, is it worth it? When you can stand and you can look at yourself in a full-length mirror and know that you did the right thing, best feeling ever.
All right, so what would be one advice that you'll give somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur and start their own business? What's an advice? One advice that you'll give them?
Determination. And the reason why I use determination, I think someone in this office and me had the conversation before. I watched this movie, the McDonald's movie. And I even get inspiration from. I'm not segueing off, but when my kids were younger, we watched a lot of cartoons,
Okay.
and you'd be surprised places where I get
Inspiration
inspiration
from.
The least, even in a song. And
So the
if you
McDonald
worry
movie.
about tomorrow, it takes away your happiness from today. If you dwell in yesterday, you're going to be, in depression. Now, back to the McDonald movie. Is education is good. I will never once dilute education. Experience. But the biggest thing is you being determined to follow your dream and not being derailed
Okay.
by what people say.
Okay. All right. So if you can tell your younger self, right? If you can tell your younger or give yourself
My
your
younger
younger self
self.
an advice, what would that be?
Trustless.
Trust less. That's it. Period.
But period, trust. Because I have extended lots of trust and I'm disappointed. But if I should look back at the mirror and change my younger self, then I would not be the person I am today. So it is somewhat, say, trustless. It's a double-edged sword to say that, because I regret nothing, because all of my actions molded me in the person I am today. And I believe we were all placed here to help each other.
Okay.
Now, yes, you're going to have those who take advantage of a situation, see kindness or weakness. But if you allow the world to change you, then they win. So I'm just going to go out there, wake up every morning with a smile, give God thanks and praise, because guess what? The person in the wheelchair who is paralyzed, I am confident will share shoe with me right now to walk in my problem.
Right. I wanted to ask this. I should have asked you before, right? Because you mentioned that you're a father and a husband. How do you handle the demand of running a business and handling your personal life?
It is a very challenging balance. It is difficult because handling your own business, learning this from County Line when I transitioned from County Line, normally office close at 5, 6, and I'm on my way home, unless I'm doing a late closing. Now I am closing my own business at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you remember you mentioned that earlier, because that's
and
one
that impacts your personal life. Now, I hope that this is not seemed arrogant of me saying, but a man who can provide you with the best quality time will not be financially strong. And a man who can give you financial stability will not have the time.
That's true. I agree.
During work, it is work. But my family time is not compromised. When it is family, mostly weekends, I will not lie. Friday to Sunday, it's all family. During the week, I would normally see my kids in the evening. I will not even try to cover that up. 9, 10 o'clock. Kiss my daughter, my son, do homework or something. But on the weekend, all family.
So you won't compromise integrity in your business, and you won't compromise family time.
No, my family, if anybody knows me, family is important. Family is paramount. Family, that is my legacy. And I want the best for my kids. I want them to grow and blossom and becoming the best of whoever they will be. And I want to make sure I fuel them accordingly and impact them in no negative way. I want them to look back and say, that's my dad.
What are 3 words that would use to describe George?
Whoa. Describe George.
In 3 words.
In 3 words. Now, you're putting me out there. I'd say this is what I heard from others. Confident. That is what most people would say. A bit loud.
In a good way.
Thank you. You just make me feel better. And passionate, determined.
All right.
But I'm going to learn to turn down the amplifier.
There's no need to turn down the amplifier.
I need to work on my accent. My daughter always said that to me.
I mean, I can understand you. I think most people can understand you, but I mean, they can tell that you do have an accent. You're from another country, not here.
Okay.
But that's fine, right? If there was an entrepreneur, I would say that you can have coffee with, dead or alive, who would that be?
Most people aspire to have meetings, coffee with global leaders. Truth be told, and I would sit down and have coffee with my former boss.
Okay.
Because that person impacted me big.
Is he
He's still around,
yes, still around?
Everybody's doing their own thing.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's a person I would. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because basically he changed my life. And he did so with an open heart. He never held
trusted
back.
you.
He trusted me. I was like his brother. Just click, I guess. Personality.
Can
Back
I-
up to the question. Personality. You see, put me on the spot. So 3 words. Confident, personality, and passionate.
When you say personality, what does that mean?
I'm just full of swag.
Okay. All right, Phyllis. Do you have a like I have a theme song, right? Do you have a theme song?
But during this interview, it's all about me. I know it was all about me.
No,
but
it's all about you.
so I should have. All right.
It's all about you.
My theme song.
My theme song, I'll tell you, I'm a winner. Do you know that song? It's by Agent Sashko.
Okay.
That's my song. I'm a winner.
I would really use Mary J. Blige.
Which
Hate Me or Love Me, or Hate It or Love It.
hate it or love it. Okay. How does that? I don't know that song.
I'll give you a job. Hate It or Love It, the underdogs on top, and I'm going to shine on me until my heart stop.
Hey. Okay.
That's it.
All
Because
right.
that song really spoke about her struggles.
Right.
I know people ruled her out and thought that was her end, but she never surrendered. She never kneeled. The mighty will fall, but we all fall in life.
Right.
But when you're down there, you fail. You're not paralyzed. What you do afterwards is what determines you.
Okay.
And as I go back to saying, failure ain't optional. And your mindset and your drive plays a big role in your life. And along the way, I learn not to expect, but hope for the best and expect the worst.
Okay, so we're going to be wrapping up this final episode with Mr. George here. I call him George. So I have a couple of fun questions that I want to ask you,
Okay,
right?
go for it.
The first one will be, what's a fun something about you that most people don't know, like a fun fact?
A fun fact
Yes.
that most is unaware.
Yes.
I am an adrenaline junkie. I love taking risks. I love diving. I love scuba diving. I love bungee. I love skydiving. I love jumping off cliffs.
Okay.
And most people are unaware of that because, most know me during my business hours, 9 to 5 or, at work. I love playing soccer
Okay.
and I love playing dominoes.
All
Not
right.
that I'm good at it, but
But you enjoy doing those
yes,
things.
but I love doing, water sports.
Okay. I don't know if I asked you. So I know I asked you about what song that would describe you, but in terms of your business, like what's one theme song that you'll use for your business?
For my business.
Yeah. Or let's ask this. Is there something that, like a song that you listen to get pump you up in the mornings? Is there anything that
A particular song that pumped me up?
yeah, that pumps you up?
You would be surprised, but I get up most morning. I mean, I'm going to say mornings I wake up aching, not 100% fueled,
Okay.
but I am grateful for life. And I am not just saying that because it's what's expected to be said. When your eyes are open each morning, that's a gift.
Yes.
When you can get up out of your bed, you have a job to go to where so much people are losing their jobs, that's a gift. You have shelter, that's a gift. You have food on your table, that's a gift. There's so much things that people take for granted and only see what they don't have and not appreciating what they do have. That is really my fuel. Yes, I might listen to reggae going through the door. Get a pump. No particular one. Depending on the mood, depending on the day of the week. Usually on a Friday, it's more homely song, more dancehall. During the week, it's a Monday, so you start off a little bit, slower. I'll soon come up with the song for the office though. But personally, for me, the Mary J. Blige, it home, because she explained her struggles and her journey, and I identified with that.
Okay. So what about the business? Is there a song that you say one song that described your brand?
The brand. You stumped me on that one. You really stumped me on, and I am a music guru. I promise you, I know music all over. I don't want to say we are the champion. Again, that is going to be arrogant, and I don't want to send the wrong message.
I mean, but if it is, it is.
No, but
if it is.
We have journeyed, and I give God thanks and praise. We're here, and keep fingers crossed to and prayers. We're here to stay.
All right. So we're going to wrap up this episode of BizConnect. Again, George, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Anytime you want to come back, you're welcome to.
Thank you so much for having me. Now, as I said earlier, the nervousness and me coming here was mixed feelings. Me being nervous and excited. This is my debut to the big stage, the grand stage.
You did absolutely great.
Hopefully we see where we go from here.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. Before you go, I want you to reiterate, tell them the name of your business, where they can find you.
Again, Phoenix Land Title and Escrow. We are located in Pembroke Pines, 701 Promenade Drive, suite number 203. That's in Pembroke Pines, Florida. To give a crossroads, we are at Palm Avenue and Pines Boulevard. We're a title company that offers title services, transferring deeds, doing refinances for homeowners. Our number, 954-885-5646. And we are open from 9 to 6. Oftentimes we're in office way after. But our business operating hours, 9 to 6. Again, Phoenix Land Title and Escrow, 954-885-5646.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of BizConnect. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family as we build a community of entrepreneurs. Thank you for following us on this journey. See you next time.